The economy of Pakistan is the 25th largest in the world in terms of purchasing power parity, and 38th largest in terms of nominal gross domestic product. Pakistan has a population of over 190 million, giving it a nominal GDP per capita of $1,450, which ranks 141st in the world. However, Pakistan's undocumented economy is estimated to be 36% of its overall economy, which is not taken into consideration when calculating per capita income. Pakistan is a developing country and is one of the next 11 countries that, along with the BRICS, have a potential to become one of the world's large economies in the 21st century. However, after decades of war and social instability, as of 2013, serious deficiencies in basic services such as railway transportation and electric power generation had developed. The economy is semi-industrialized, with centers of growth along the Indus River. Primary export commodities include textiles, leather goods, sports goods, chemicals and carpets, rugs. Growth poles of Pakistan's economy are situated along the Indus River. The diversified economies of Karachi and major urban centers in the Punjab, coexisting with lesser developed areas in other parts of the country. The economy has suffered in the past from internal political disputes, a fast-growing population, mixed levels of foreign investment. Foreign exchange reserves have bolstered by steady worker remittances, but a growing current account deficit, driven by a widening trade gap as import growth outstrips export expansion, could draw down reserves and dampen GDP growth in the medium term. Pakistan is currently undergoing a process of economic liberalization, including privatization of all government corporations, aimed to attract foreign investment and decrease budget deficit. In 2014, foreign currency reserves crossed $18.4 billion, which has led to stable outlook on the long-term rating by Standard & Poor's. In 2016, BMI research report named Pakistan as one of the 10 emerging economies with a particular focus on of its manufacturing hub. Economic history. First 5 decades. Pakistan was a very poor and predominantly agricultural country when it gained independence in 1947. Pakistan's average economic growth rate in the first 5 decades has been higher than the growth rate of the world economy during the same period. Average annual real GDP growth rates were 6.8% in the 1960s, 4.8% in the 1970s, and 6.5% in the 1980s. Average annual growth fell to 4.6% in the 1990s, with significantly lower growth in the second half of the decade. Recent decades. This is a chart of trend of gross domestic product of Pakistan at market prices estimated by the International Monetary Fund, with figures in millions of Pakistani rupees. See also economic resilience background. Historically, Pakistan's overall economic output has grown every year since the 1951 recession. Despite this record of sustained growth, Pakistan's economy had, until a few years ago, been characterized as unstable and highly vulnerable to external and internal shocks. However, the economy proved to be unexpectedly resilient in the face of multiple adverse events concentrated into a 4-year period. The Asian financial crisis. Economic sanctions. According to Colin Powell, Pakistan was sanctioned to the eyeballs. The global recession of 2001-2002, a severe drought, the worst in Pakistan's history, lasting about 4 years, the post-9/11 military action in neighboring Afghanistan, with a massive influx of refugees from the country, macroeconomic reform and prospects. According to many sources, the Pakistani government has made substantial economic reforms since 2000. a medium-term prospects for job creation and poverty reduction of the best in nearly a decade. In 2005, the World Bank reported that Pakistan was the top reformer in the region and the number 10 reformer globally, making it easier to start a business, reducing the cost to register property, increasing penalties for violating corporate governance rules, and replacing a requirement to license every shipment with 2-year duration licenses for traders. Doing business. The World Bank and International Finance Corporation's flagship report Ease of Doing Business Index 2015 ranked Pakistan 138 among 189 countries around the globe. Pakistan came highest in South Asia and also was ranked higher than China and Russia, which were at 133. The top 5 countries were Singapore, New Zealand, the United States, Hong Kong and United Kingdom. Many Western companies refused to do business with Pakistan and cite problems of corruption, lack of resources and lack of infrastructure as key problems. The economy today. Today the nominal GDP of Pakistan is $270 United States dollars and 96 cents, which is better than its last decade's performance due to high growth rate. Economic comparison of Pakistan 1999 to 2008 multinationals lot China Mobile, Toyota, GDF Suez, City, Colgate, Palmolive, Shell, Hutchinson, Marriott Hotels, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Telenor, Nestle, Honda, GSK, Movenpick Hotels, Lind Group, Standard Chartered, Yamaha, AB, Novartis, ICBC, Pepsi, Unilever, Uber, Abbott Labs, Johnson & Amp, Johnson, McKinsey, Accelerate Energy, Total, Spa, OMV, UEPL, Yum, Brands, Gunvor, MR, Deutsche Bank, Siemens, Sanofi, ORIX, Otsuka, Nike, Maybank, Metroag, Vitol, Emmental, Asconobel, BASF, Vestas, Temasek, Friesland Campina International Holding BV, Audi, Philip Morris International, DPW, Oxford University Press, IBM, The Bank of Tokyo, Mitsubishi UFJ, Moll Group, Tetra Pak, Philips, Vopak, Abraj, British American Tobacco, Schlumberger, Allianz, Exterin, Tony and Amp, Guy, Deloitte, Etisalat, P and Amp, G, KSB, Hyperstar, Carrefour, Nippon Paint, Wyndham Hotels, 3M, Stora ENSOOYJ, DHL, FedEx, Ace Insurance, Visa, Agility Logistics, Huawei, Nielsen, Samba Bank, Abu Dhabi Group, Serena Hotels, Emirates Logistics, Samsung, Descan. Stock market in the first 4 years of the 21st century. Pakistan's KSE 100 index was the best performing stock market index in the world as declared by the international magazine Businessweek. The stock market capitalization of listed companies in Pakistan was valued at $5,937 million in 2005 by the World Bank. But in 2008, after the general elections, uncertain political environment, rising militancy along western borders of the country, and mounting inflation and current account deficits resulted in the steep decline of the Karachi Stock Exchange. As a result, the corporate sector of Pakistan has declined dramatically in recent times. However, the market bounced back strongly in 2009 and the trend continues in 2011. By 2014 the stock market burst into uncharted territories as the benchmark KSE 100 index rose 907 points and shot past the 30,000-point barrier to close at a new record high. This came days after Moody's announced that it was upgrading the outlook of 5 major Pakistani banks from negative to stable, resulting in heavy buying in the banking sector. The rally was supported by heavy buying in the oil and gas and cement sectors. An article published in the Journal of Developing Areas of Tennessee State University in the U.S. Economist Meet Feridun investigates the exchange rate movements in the Pakistani foreign exchange market using the market microstructure approach, shedding more lights on the dynamics of the Pakistani stock exchange. Middle classes of 2013, according to Macroeconomic Insights, a research firm in Islamabad. The size of the Pakistani middle class is conservatively estimated at approximately 70 million out of a total population of about 186 million. This represents 40% of the population of the country. On measures of income inequality, the country ranks slightly better than the median. In late 2006, the Central Board of Revenue estimated that there were almost 2.8 million income taxpayers in the country. However, by 2013, the number of taxpayers was drastically reduced to just 768,000 out of a total population of 190 million, meaning that only 0.57% of the population pay taxes. Poverty levels have decreased by 10% since 2001. Foreign companies which provide for Pakistani middle classes have been very successful. For example, demand for Unilever products have recently been so high that even after doubling production, the Anglo-Dutch company struggled to meet demand, and its chairman stated, "Pakistanis can't seem to have enough poverty alleviation expenditures." Pakistan government spent over 1 trillion rupees on poverty alleviation programs during the past 4 years, cutting poverty from 35% in 2001 to 24% in 2006. Rural poverty remains a pressing issue, as development has been far slower than in the major urban areas. Employment. The high population growth in the past few decades has ensured that a very large number of young people are now entering the labor market, even though it is among the 6 most populous Asian nations. In the past, excessive red tape made firing from jobs and consequently hiring difficult. Significant progress in taxation and business reforms has ensured that many firms now are not compelled to operate in the underground economy. In late 2006, the government launched an ambitious nationwide service employment scheme aimed at disbursing almost $2 billion over 5 years. Mean wages were 98 cents per man-hour in 2009. Rate of unemployment is 15%. Higher inflation and limited wage growth have drawn more women into the workforce to feed the families. Government sector is also contributing in employment, and according to estimate, 4.5 million people are employed by federal, provincial and local governments in different sectors from armed forces to education and health. Tourism in Pakistan has been stated as being the tourism industry's next big thing. Pakistan, with its diverse cultures, people and landscapes, has attracted 90 million tourists to the country, almost double to that of a decade ago. Due to threat of terrorism, the number of foreigner tourists has gradually declined, and the shock of 2013 Nanga Parbat tourist shooting has terribly, adversely affected the tourism industry. Revenue. Although the country is a federation with constitutional division of taxation powers between the federal government and the 4 provinces, the Revenue Department of the federal government, the Federal Board of Revenue, collects almost 95% of the entire national revenue. The Federal Board of Revenue collected nearly 2 trillion rupees in taxes in the 2007-2008 financial year, while it collected about 1,558 billion during FY 2010-2011. Currency system. Rupee. The basic unit of currency is the rupee, ISO code PKR and abbreviated Rs, which is divided into 100 paces. Currently the newly printed 5,000 rupee note is the largest denomination in circulation. Recently the SBP has introduced all new design notes of Rs, 10, 20, 50, 100, 500, 1000 and 5000. The Pakistani rupee was pegged to the pound sterling until 1982, when the government of General Zia-ul-Haq changed it to managed float. As a result, the rupee devalued by 38.5% between 1982–83. Many of the industries built by his predecessors suffered with a huge surge in import costs. After years of appreciation under Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and despite huge increases in foreign aid, the rupee depreciated. Foreign exchange rate. The Pakistani rupee depreciated against the US dollar until around the start of the 21st century, when Pakistan's large current account surplus pushed the value of the rupee up versus the dollar. Pakistan's central bank then stabilized by lowering interest rates and buying dollars. In order to preserve the country's export competitiveness, foreign exchange reserves. Pakistan maintains foreign reserves with State Bank of Pakistan. The currency of the reserves was solely US dollar, incurring speculated losses after the dollar prices fell during 2005, forcing the then governor SBP Ishrat Hussain to step down. In the same year, the SBP issued an official statement proclaiming diversification of reserves in currencies including euro and yen, withholding ratio of diversification. Following the international credit crisis and spikes in crude oil prices, Pakistan's economy could not withstand the pressure, and on October 11, 2008, State Bank of Pakistan reported that the country's foreign exchange reserves had gone down by $571.9 million to $7,749.7 million. The foreign exchange reserves had declined more by $10 billion to a level of $6.59 billion. Structure of economy. The economy of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan is suffering with high inflation rates well above 26%. Over 1,081 patent applications were filed by non-resident Pakistanis in 2004, revealing a newfound confidence. Agriculture accounted for about 53% of GDP in 1947. While per capita agricultural output has grown since then, it has been outpaced by the growth of the non-agricultural sectors, and the share of agriculture has dropped to roughly 1/5 of Pakistan's economy. In recent years, the country has seen rapid growth in industries and services.